All right now, folks, I just made a video. I hope everything comes up all right with it. It's called Heart Style, where you use muscles to do everything. And now I want to show you how to undo muscles to do everything. Let's say I breathe. I say we always breathe. One way or another, we got to get the breath down. If you hard style breathing, you can still soft style in singing. So let's say what you mean. I'm going to breathe like this. Weight on my back, and now I'm going to undo. See, I did that. I made an action. Now I'm going to undo it. Caruso called that a contrary motion. He said, make a great breath and then do its contrary. Well, it's contrary. If I use muscles to lift my arm, contrary would be to undo the muscular action, but at the same speed and gradually, see? So the idea is to find a contrary motion. And then he said, and make sure that the breath stays down near the abdomen all the time. So I'm going to go, everything is letting go. Everything is relaxed. So I'm working. Now I'll tell you when I got into this. This is when I was doing big operas like Meistersinger von Nuremberg, 5.5 hours. And the tenor sings 9 times in the second act, the big art, and then he's got to sing it again at 5 hours and 15 minutes, right? In the big competition. So you learn how to not be exhausted by the time you get to one of these big 5-hour operas. Don Carlo Verdi was another one. 49 B flats and 9 B naturals and about 1,000 A's and G sharps, and he's hysterical all the time. So how do I sing that music and not get tired? Well, I do a soft style. I go breathe and undo in a contrary motion to keep it near my abdomen. And nothing is flexed. Everything is in a state of unflexing. Is that a word? I don't know. Of relaxing. I guess relaxing is the word. So you want to flex and then relax with a perfect contrary motion. Not suddenly. You can do it suddenly, but it's another effect that, and I'm not talking much about that today, but it's certainly possible. There's maybe I'll throw in a couple so you see what I'm talking about. But the main thing is to go, now if we want to find the correct function of the diaphragm, and if I go, it's a heart style. If I do the breathing exercise where I go, and I suddenly stop the respiration and start singing, I still got a big reaction all the way around here, so it's still heart styling. Soft styling is you breathe and you really let your breath go, and you let it go in a particular location. So right now, we're dropping it below the navel, between the navel and the pubic bone, right in the middle of your abdomen, and you undo there and you go, so how do I do that? I mean, why can't I just let go? And like alcoholics say, let go and let God, right? You get out of this habit or this desire to flex your muscles all the time. And I mentioned in the beginning of the first tape about how if you're a soft stylist, you don't absorb punishment. If you're a fighter, you don't absorb. You're always soft and weak, and I call it rolling with the punch with the head, and but your whole body. In soft style, you break it the way it's like a doll, like that. You do anything you can not to absorb punishment. See. And when we sing, when we do that, guess what? The breath, the only place that's still, let's say, working is way down low. Because I do this, I'm not falling on the floor, so somebody's still working. So I'm trying to find that, but I'm trying not to use anything in the vocal tract that would be a tension of any kind. Well, maybe it's an idealistic approach. You want to do that. I used to use breath of fire a lot. If it were not too strenuous, not too long, you just go. See how I'm flexing down there. So it gives everything tremendous energy. I used to think the whole cavalry used to kind of like that, but it's only a one-act opera. But if you sing some of these big operas, you have to get past that one act. You have to go this maybe for hours and hours, especially the 5-hour operas or more, then you got to learn. You got to learn the soft style because you're going to get exhausted if you have to flex your muscles all night long. See, so sometimes it changes the interpretation of the role. I mean, what's his name? Don Carlo, for instance, is he's hysterical. They just found out that his sweetheart, his fiancée, the one he loves, has been chosen by the king. The king is his father. And the king says, I want that girl for my wife. So now she has to marry the king, and he's going to end up calling his sweetheart mother. Like a comedy, isn't it? Anyway, so what we do is we find ways in an opera like that where you're just singing all night long in the upper register, you're singing all high notes, endless high notes, and some of it's very, very dramatic indeed. And so what you do is you learn to soft style it. So instead of going, I go, now I sound sad and feeling sorry for myself instead of ready to murder somebody. See? Anyway, this soft style business now can be carried all over the place in the body. You can soft style. It's amazing, really, what you can do. You start off by doing, we can do the one that Tito Schipa and Claudia Muzio did, which is right here. So you go, oh. And the soft style is really based on what we would call a sigh. If I take a breath and do a contrary motion, let go of everything, I go, oh. It's a form of sighing. It's a slow sigh. But it worked like a charm for a guy named Caruso. He had a nice career, right? So the idea is we're going to sigh so that we can undo those muscles. Remember, I take a big breath behind me, and then I go, So let's call it the sigh method. Sighing is certainly the basis of letting go of muscles that are in flex, right, or in tension. So I'm going to go, see what I'm doing? I'm sighing right here. And I'll sing a bigger, a more dramatic phrase. Let's see. I'm just sighing right here the whole time. If I were hard sighing that, I'd make sure I controlled it. Okay, so maybe it's a little more dramatic, but I have to survive, don't I? I've got to rehearse all day, sing tonight, drive back to Hamburg tomorrow morning, rehearse all day, sing tomorrow night, drive down to Munich, right, overnight, get up and rehearse all day, sing all night. That's what it means if you're a popular singer in the German system, where they are 10.5 months a year, they're doing operas every night. And very often, if you're popular, you'll sing every night. I mean, as long as you have what's called a Festvertrag, which means you're engaged by that theater to do, let's say you commit to 40 evenings. Well, then you do 40 evenings there, then you're free to travel and go other places. But they always have priorities. You cannot leave. You have to stay here and sing Carmen. Somebody offers you 4 times as much money to sing up there, and you can't take the job because you're committed by contract. And where your Festvertrag is, right? So after a while, you don't make Festverträge, but really, Fest means tight contracts, ones that hold you under control. You don't make those after a while. You do strictly what they call guesting, and you travel around all the time. And I sang all over the place. I sang from Oslo to Prague to Lisbon. And especially Carmen. Carmen was done everywhere. So he traveled all over. A lot of these countries didn't have a tenor that could sing that particular opera. Even France. I even sang in France, which was very hard to do because the French were very nationalistic. And I sang a lot in France, but always Carmen. They had lyric tenors that could do lyric singing. Then they got a guy named Vargas who could pretty much sing anything. He's been a star there for years. But that was after my time. When I was there, they didn't have anybody for the heavier stuff. But me, right? Anyway, the idea is you're going to soft style. Now let's move the soft style around. Let's move this sigh around. So let's sigh here. Ah. right? But now what if I drop the sigh below my navel, between my navel and my pubic bone, like Mr. Caruso said, undo there, contrary motion there, which means I'm going to sigh there. So I go, la, la, la. Got it? And by the way, you might say, and everything between. Pavarotti sang in his navel. He was hard-sided so he would go, he'd do that breath stop on his navel. La, no, work like a charm. I could sigh there too, though. La. So sighing is really a technique that gets popular among people that sing every day of their lives and every night, or sing great big repertoire. There's an old proverb that says, sing the dramatic music lyrically and the lyric music dramatically. And that's a good example. The bigger the role that I sang, the more I sighed it. No doubt about it. You know? I remember singing Meistersinger von Nürnberg, and it's like this, right? Morgendlich leuchtend im rosigen Schein, von Blüt und Duft geschwellt die Luft, von allen Wonnen die ersonnen, ein Garten lud mich. And so on. It goes like that for 5.5 hours. But that was soft starting. I was undoing the muscular process I did in order to breathe. So I breathe hard style. I really suck it down there to try to get very low. Joan Sullivan says she breathed up her rectum. A lot of singers breathe very, very low, right, in the body, in the back, and they're the ones that seem to have the most strength. You're in the bigger muscles down there, and not in the smaller muscles up here. So it really is, when you're singing 5.5 operas that are big as a house with a 130-piece orchestra, let's face it, you've gotta find some, I don't want to say easy, but some way that doesn't exhaust you, see? And when you end the opera, at the end of the opera, you may have to sing again tomorrow night. That's another thing. It's like, you've always got something in your head saying, no, but be careful, don't get too excited, and don't let go. Don't let go. Be careful, control your self-control, because once in a while you feel good and you just want to let it go. Carmen was interesting role because she'd use 4 different voices. She'd use a lyric voice in the first act, and a lyrical spinto in the second act, and a held and tenor in the third act, and a spinto tenor in the fourth act. And have all those techniques. See, one place, you're going, man, you like that the whole fourth act, right? The first act is, ma man, je l'amour, oui, je l'amour, mon village. You just need to be a lyric, so I just side that one right here. And in the second act, you have a lyrical spinto part, so then I would side that one low in my body, in my abdomen, and go, love, love, que tu m'avais jeté, dans ma prison m'était resté. See, so I got a little bigger, fatter tongue. But in between, you're doing God knows what, Mike Singer and Lohengrin and Parsifal, and I did Freischütz, I don't know, hundreds of times. And those are big, heavy, very big orchestra type pieces, and some of it is very dramatic, So you got to figure out a way. Låt mich vom Garten finstern Mächte, mich fasst Verzweiflung, mich folgt Sport, mich fasst Verzweiflung, ohne Sport, mich fasst Verzweiflung, folgt Sport. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. A lot of barking, a good old German dramatic bark, right? And I tried to debark it. I mean, in my age now, I'm not as good a debarker as I used to be, right? But I'm still singing all day. I still have fun. So what the heck? I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm very happy with the ability that I can just croak out a sound at this age, right? Now let's talk about great singers that I studied with. Let's start with Helga Roswanger. Roswanger taught me the chimpanzee and the lip clamp. The lip clamp is this one. See, he would say, where are your vowels? My vowels are all in the back of my neck. He said, then that's where you sing them. Right? And then he would give me the chimpanzee like this. Then he'd say, where are your vowels? So I look for them, and sure enough, they're way back here somewhere. So I go, well, if I sing that way, do I have to hard style or soft style? Think about it. I'm going to put the vowels back there. I'll see you later. Where are the vowels? See? So he taught me those two, and he said, with those two, you can probably figure out how to sing anything, which is what he did. He sang 7 days a week, 3 times a day. He used to rehearse every morning and make records every afternoon and sing a performance every night, and 7 days a week. And he did it. It was just amazing with the way he could do it. And I said, how is it possible? He said, yoga. Yoga. He did yoga. He did 3 hours of yoga a day for 55 years. And the guy was strong as 10 bulls. He was so strong. And Sim never got tired. And he could sing over and over and over. Sometimes do double headers. Sing two performances in one day. No problem. You know, sing big music. Great big stuff. So how do I do this? Here we go again. All right, now where is the support? We talked in the hardstyle tape we did where you get a response here, but there's a response also where you undo that. I'm not working, I'm not doing anything. In fact, I'm sitting in a very comfortable tilted chair. See? The idea is that you got to be you have to survive more than anything. To be a professional singer, you have to survive. If you're always cracking, breaking up, and you can't get through the opera, it really hurts your career. You'll end up saying, well, I'm afraid to hire him. He's got no stamina. See? And it's very often you're singing a method that requires more activity, physical activity in the muscular process than you really have the strength to do. Okay? So you either back off and sing lighter music all the time, or you learn to do a soft style which doesn't exhaust you. See? So if I go, no, this is soft. Now take that softness and I move it all the way down. See? So here's the harmonico, sigh. Right? Here's U.C. Gerling, sigh. Right? Here's Pavarotti's sigh. And these guys would mix it up. They do hard style and soft style. No problem. They were great singers, let's face it. Great. Pavarotti was a great singer. No doubt about it. And then Mr. Caruso did it in his abdomen between the navel and the pubic bone. How do we do that? See? It's still loose. I had to put that little wiggle on the end of it just to show you that I was still loose. I wasn't just bluffing. But I have a choice. I can flex the muscle there. I can activate it like with Breath of Fire. You can do more than just flex it. You can do things with it too. And but remember, anytime you flex the muscle, it's going to cost you way down at the end of the line, whether you get tired earlier or get tired later, because you will get tired. And the German system where you sing every day, you sing every night, rehearse every day. If you're popular, you're busy like 7 days a week. And I sang Carmen a couple of times, 9 nights in a row with rehearsals in the daytime, and got the reviews to prove they liked the way I did it. So I was fooling somebody. I don't know how many people. They say you can't fool all the people all the time. Well, that was me, boy. But I can fool some of them some of the time. So the idea is to go. See, what's the place of my voice, and which side did I use? Where was it? Oh, where was that? See? Where's my sigh? Right down, it's right here in the middle. So you get some, and of course you can sigh up and down your back. The famous Cotoni school, who taught Beniamino Gigi and Giacomo Lali Volpi and Carmen Melis, who taught Tibaldi, that was all sliding back and down. Except they sighed back and down. You go, la 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 la. Oh, I'm sighing back and down. Oh, see? And my particular favorite sigh was the one straight back in the pharynx. I love the sigh back to la la. Always liked it because my voice always had a tendency to be a little, I'll say dark, a little too thick, always a little bit chesty. And I sang the bass in college, let's face it. Oh, you're a young bass, aren't you? Until I sang for a professional singer, and he said, named Mac Harrell, if you know that name. He's on the Toscanini recording the Ninth Symphony. He's a big bass baritone. He was the ultimate concert bass baritone at that time. We're talking about 57, 56, something like that. 57, 58. And he said, what are you doing? So he came over to me, and he said, first of all, I was singing with my head down. I was going, he said, wait. Can you put your head up? I'd like to see your face. I said, okay. Do it again, okay. So he came over and he put his hand under my chin like this. He said, all right, now I'll sing it. I went, he said, that's it. Now you've got it. I said, what? I've got no. He said, I've got no sound. He said, because you don't breathe. So he was the one that taught me the theory that the bigger the drum, the bigger the sound. And if you want to make more sound, you have to have much bigger air bucket. The snare drum is all of his examples. The snare drum goes rat-a-tat-tat, and you take the head off of that and put it on a big African drum, and it goes boom, boom. So it's the air that makes the sound. Imagine taking the mouthpiece off a clarinet or saxophone and just blowing it. It squeaks. Just squeaks. But you put that mouthpiece back on the instrument, all of a sudden it makes a lovely round sound that'll fill every theater in the world. See? So the idea is this is your vibrator or your reed, right? And your vocal cords vibrate, and then that air, it's funny because Caruso said in his book that you should feel the tone vibrating all down inside your body. Well, what's vibrating? Oh, nothing down there but air, right? So it's the air itself that vibrates, not the wiggle and the activity of moving the muscles. You go, la, 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 up here is la. If I'm shallow, it'll go in my nose. If I push my stomach out when I breathe, my voice completely in my nose. So if you read the Caruso book about how to breathe, after singing all these great singers, and Lily Lehman and all these great singers, and everybody says pull in the abdomen. Nobody says push the abdomen out. That's some kind of modern thing, right? And first thing, you want to sing in your nose, you want to sing nasal? Then you have to constantly cover. If you you have to modify the upper note, or it'll go in your nose. But you don't have to do anything if you can get the breath. If the abdomen goes in, you take a big breath, go and really pull it down there, and practice till you got enough of it without showing anybody how you breathe, and you go la la. passes smoothly from one register to another. Anyway, I hope this is a little bit clear, this business of soft style, hard style, because one is la, and one is la, and you can do them all over the place. The most common sigh was this one, no doubt about it. Here, through the sternum. And Caruso came along and said, no, you got to sigh in your abdomen. Well, he was the first one that certainly I've read every book ever written on singing by everybody, and I think he's the only one, if not the only one, certainly well, up to then, I don't think anybody had sighed in their abdomen except pregnant women, maybe. You get pregnant, everybody says the more pregnant a woman gets, the better she sings, because the baby and the water is pulling everything down and their breath is getting lower and lower. And if it eventually, funnily enough, eliminates the possibility of breathing in your abdomen, you have to breathe in your lower back if your abdomen's already full, see. So the idea is you would breathe, then when you start to sing, the weight of the baby would pull you down in the front, and you get la. Birgit Nilsson sang in her perineum, which is straight down in the crotch. La, la, now kind of sigh there. La, la, kind of hard style there. La, yes. A singer named Leonie Rieseneck. I don't know how popular she was. All the young singers may not know her in this country, but she was the superstar of German opera. She was a huge voice. Her voice wasn't as big as Nielsen's, but nobody else's was. And she probably had the second big voice in the world at that time. And she sang 7 days a week. She sang for 60 years or something. Never had a vocal problem. She breathed and sang on the tip of her tailbone. She'd sing way down here and go, la, la. See? So I'll make another video today. We'll talk about locations and where they sang some of these singers. But the main thing today is, are you sighing down there? Are you flexing muscles? La, la. They both work. And mainly, if you sing those big, long operas, you have a very, very busy career, you will more and more, you will begin to sigh, believe me, or soft style, I should say. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Bye.